What up, y'all? It's Michael Sean, and I know you want to be a podcaster. You want a successful podcast. You want to give your views and opinions, but you just don't know how to do it correctly. That's why you got to hit up ShawneeScott.com. You want to be on radio, and you want to know how to build your radio career. ShawneeScott.com. She's done all of this. I've worked alongside her for years, and I will tell you the information that she can give you is on a value level that I can't even put a price on it. All you have to do is go to ShawneeScott.com. Your future, right now. That's it. Michael Sean. Yeah.
After the accident,
I was stuck paying all these medical bills.
The Witherspoon Law Group understands that you didn't deserve what happened to you, but you do deserve justice.
They weren't just there for me, they fought for me.
I care about what my clients are going through. We are in the fight of their lives.
We don't just fight for you, we fight with you and make sure you get the compensation you deserve.
And that's why we do what we do. And what we do is win.
Call 844-WE-WIN-44.
Welcome to Winning Wednesday. I am so excited. Today we have a very special guest, but first let me say happy birthday to the baby of the bunch. His name is Kyle Hamilton. He's 19 today. He's my son. Hi, Kyle. Happy birthday. Well, today we have as a guest none other than the legendary mom from the inspirational book, My Mama Said. The one that inspired all of the quotes, none other than Charmaine Gerdine.
Hi, baby Iris. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
Hi, Miss Gerdine. How are you?
No, I'm just Iris in the city, baby Iris. It all still applies. But I am so excited for you to join me today, just for a little conversation, kicking off Women's History Month. So who other than have as a kickoff guest, none other than my own mother, who of course holds a place in St. Louis history. So we'll get into some of that information on her career, her many careers throughout her life, and her life after, let's say, retirement, and see what all she's been doing, and see how many of these quotes she can kind of give us a few words on. So, Miss Gerdine, I should say, not mom, but Miss Gerdine, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, actually, my name is Charmaine Gerdine. I'm Iris's mother. I'm a mother of 4 children, 8 grandchildren. I'm a retired city police officer. I had a business doing colon hydrotherapy. I've worked many jobs. I've been a dental assistant. Basically more mom and grandma than I put more value in that than anything I've done.
Of course you do. We all love you too. But like I said, thank you for joining me, because we all know that you are a very private person. You don't like to discuss things in person. So thanks for opening up to us and kind of kicking off Women's History Month and just showing the different hats and roles that we have to play as a mother, as a wife, as a sister. So let's just talk a little bit about being a mother. You talked about being a mother and also your different careers. But I want to start the conversation off with one of your favorite quotes. And let's talk about how that may have inspired you into, your career selection.
Well, one of my favorite quotes is by George Bernard Shaw. And he states, "Service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living on this earth. And there are so many ways to serve, whether or not we belong to a church or a service organization or have a job that provides meaningful service opportunities. Not a day goes by that we can at least serve another human being by making deposits of unconditional love."
Wow. And we all know, well, I know that you make deposits of unconditional love both in the community, and at home. But I wanted you to tell us a little bit about that. One of the funny things is that we all know that they say what preachers' kids and police officer kids sometimes can be a handful. And I did not write the book My Mama Said because I took every word she said and followed it verbatim. I was able to write that book because I took an untraditional route. But it still led me back to her teachers, and I'm grateful for that. And I share that with the community and everywhere that I go. So tell us a little bit about how your favorite quote regarding service and love fit into your career job. We'll talk about some of the other jobs you held, but your career role. Let's talk about how it fit.
Okay, as a career that I retired from the St. Louis City Police Office Department in 2007. I served 20 years. I was in the 9th District, 4th District, narcotics, juvenile division. Part of the role I had in the juvenile division was a program called WAR. It's called We Are Responsible. It was similar to the DARE program that the St. Louis County had. I also was a DARE officer for the city, but that came later. And we went into the schools from preschool through 12th grade, and we did seminars and talks on drugs, peer pressure, conflict resolution, and being responsible. And we educated the students on different aspects of life as far as growth and development that related to things in their community and how they dealt with, how they can understand themselves better and help deal with conflicts as they arise in their lives.
We have a picture of you in your uniform. Let's see you in your uniform. It's just going to take us a minute. But while we're waiting for that to pull up, what was it like? Not so much in the schools, because of course that's the part that you enjoyed. It seems like pouring into the kids, because there you are in in your police uniform and smiling, looking very pretty and young. Ooh,
can you tell I was eating a sandwich?
Always. My mom, she doesn't like to get hangry no time of the day, so she gonna have a sandwich, a cookie. But yeah, so you carry that smile everywhere you go, even while being a police officer. I guess that's why a lot of people in the community trusted you. But talk about some of the other roles that you played on the police department. Like starting off, you didn't get to go into the schools. You basically had to be a patrol officer.
Yes, I was a patrol officer in the community where I answered radio calls, domestic violence, homicides, stealing, burglary. A lot of people don't understand the magnitude of what one police officer goes through in an 8-hour period. Like, for instance, if I knew that my children were at home safe and there was a school bus accident, that also sent me in a space where as soon as I finished, I called home to see if my children were okay. And then it's trying to work different shifts. 3 weeks we were working 7 to 3, 3 weeks we on 3 to 11. Then there's times you work nights. You had to depend on other people to safely look after your children. But and then at some point it's very trying to juggle that position and be who you're supposed to be as a mother, because those 3 weeks from 3 to 11 that rotated every 3 weeks, those are the times your children got home from school. They needed homework done. They needed meals prepared. You didn't want them out playing for fear of something could happen if you was not there.
Area, if I was outside, you would
Oh yes. I had neighbors watching,
It's
peeping out the window.
Himself. I'm like, meet me on the back, Miss Christine on the
Iris know they were not allowed to be outside if I was at work, period. Because I felt like if I wasn't there to protect them, then I just felt like they needed to be protected, and there was nobody there to protect them like me. So they was not allowed to be out.
Yeah. No, we definitely wasn't allowed to be out doing your work hours. And when you were home, we were only allowed the porch parameters.
Yes, where I can look over the porch and see you up and down the street.
Exactly.
There was no walking around the corner, go to a friend's house, run the neighborhood. Because one time Iris came home, she said, well, can I go with Stacy? I said, well, where are you and Stacy going? Well, we just gonna walk the neighborhood. I said, you're not in a parade. You don't just walk the neighborhood. Well, Stacy mother lets her. I said, that's Stacy mother. If she let her roam around, she roam around. But when you leave here, you're going somewhere and coming back. You just can't parade the neighborhood.
And it wasn't a wrong thing. But to this day, like the safety things, I can say as a mother, and relocating to Texas, like those same things I said. When I'm not here, you don't open the door. You don't tell nobody you home alone, traveling to and from. So those things still resonate. So outside of patrolling, and you had some wild stories, because unfortunately some of the kids that was on my school bus would be involved in things at night and come to school the next morning. I'm sorry, tell your mama that was me running through Cleveland. I just can't go to shit. So eventually we had to move because of, just too close to everybody. But it still doesn't mean we wasn't, connected to our neighborhood and everything.
Exactly.
We did have to move out of the neighborhood that you patrolled.
Yes, because we only live 4 blocks from the station.
Right.
And then everybody in our neighborhood, I was raised in the neighborhood, you were raised in the neighborhood, so I knew their mothers, I knew them, and a lot of different things were going on that it just felt like, okay, it's time to go. This is not safe for us.
Mm-hmm. But I can say you handled yourself well, and you know why? Because you worked with ethics. You never compromised your ethics, so that carried a lot of weight.
Yes.
To why you still can walk through certain neighborhoods, and why people still, oh, that's Miss Charmaine, and kind of, make jokes and kind of
tell their stories.
That's right. To say, like, I know I was wrong, So that just holds a lot of weight. And I guess, being a service person, that ethical part of it is huge, because you want their trust, within the community.
Oh, like I have another story, and I won't call the little guy's names. These 3 little guys, they were like little terrorists in the neighborhood. They were little drug dealers and different things, but I knew them. But even what their activities was, they had a blind father or mother, blind father. Mm-hmm. And regardless of what their activities was, they always assisted their mother with their father. Mm-hmm. Make sure their needs were met and things that was in their home was together. Mm-hmm. So when the little guys would see me and they would run, I would say, well, I know where you live. I'm not going to chase you. I'm just going to come knock on your door. Mm-hmm. So I would go knock on their door, and their mother would open the door, and they'll say, well, so I ain't gonna call his name. Charmaine's here. Leave your shoestring. And I would lie for him. Oh, Miss So-and-so, I'm just here. He has a ticket. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take him down. Well, Charmaine's here. Just come on out. And they would go. Because like I said, I'm not going to chase you. I know where you live.
Mm-hmm. But they knew what to do when it was their time.
Yes, they did.
And like I said, most of them that you had to arrest, they knew you had to arrest them.
Exactly, and they know that.
So so you went from patrolling, and then at one point, because we can't deny you're undeniably beautiful, you would ride through the streets of St. Louis and see you on billboards. right? So it's like
Yes.
the police department start using you for a model. I'm like, okay, so she's a model police officer. Does this mean she never have to patrol the streets again?
No,
That was
that
not the case.
no, actually, that was a campaign for auto thefts. Auto thefts was on the rise in the city, and the St. Louis Police Department wanted to do a proactive thing of getting information out to the community on how to protect themselves. So they did actually a commercial and
Oh yeah,
billboards,
it was
and
a
yeah.
commercial.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have a picture of what the campaign picture actually looked like. And what I remember, uh, the billboard was up and people would actually ask, did somebody steal your mother's car? And she put up a billboard for it. I'm like, no, it's advertisement for the police department. Read, people, read. But I thought that was an honor, that they thought that
It was.
was it like she's pretty, let's put her up, or is it like she's in this particular department? Like, what was that conversation like?
No, I've never been assigned to auto theft, but the lieutenant at that time had called me and asked that I want to become a part of auto theft. But at that time, I had my eye on a different assignment, and that was with juvenile and the war program. But he did ask me to do the commercial and the advertising for it.
Okay, well,
Uh,
that's something that's always in the archives there that your grandkids can take a look at.
I don't even think they know anything about that, my grandkids.
Well, now they do because they heard it here first on RCC. So you had a wonderful career and was able to retire. And I'm proud to say that I remember you going in and you saying, I'm going to do my 20 years and that's it. Because you was talking about how, through that time you was going to do things to, make sure that you were able to retire. One of the things was I would always say, I don't know why I thought you had so much money to spend, but then you get paid, you would get pissed off. Don't ask me about money. That's my favorite line. Like, if I wanted to do something, it's almost like I had it marked. But then at some point, you start explaining to me, like, I don't want to do this forever. So I'm not just out here spending money. I'm saving so that I can, retire in 20 years. And I don't have to do this until I'm 60 and blah, blah, blah. So I commend you on being very disciplined in that aspect because 20 years, you was like, this is it. Kids who need a ride. And it came at the perfect time because in your retirement, I had a child entering high school. And at the time she was commuting from St. Louis City to Webster Grove. So of course she needed door-to-door service.
Yes.
So you were able to step in there. So after retirement, you were granny taxi for a minute, but then you decided it's something more. I want to learn something new. And not only did you learn it, you conquered it, opened a business, and it was very successful. Because you have people to still ask me, what's your mother number to her office? Is she at your dad's? I'm like, oh, she doesn't want to do that anymore. I thought it was rather disgusting, but you explained all the benefits, and it was colon hydrotherapy.
Exactly. Colonics.
Yes, and
Cleansing the colon.
right. And I mean, at one point you would say, "Cause you're full of," and I was like, "Okay." Yes,
Yeah, because actually, for those that don't know what colon hydrotherapy is, it's a cleansing of the colon. We have 5 feet of large intestines, and even though our bowels move, we still have fecal matter stuck to the walls of our colons. And a lot of times people have colon cancer because those toxins sit there and they go back into our system over a period of time, which can cause colon cancer. So it's always a good thing to periodically, maybe 2-3 times a year, to get your colon clean, to wash the walls of your colon to stay healthy.
Yes, so that's another story and topic. We'll talk about the boo-boo at a different time. But it definitely is something that you stay learning and staying, knowledgeable on your craft, because at any time, if you want to go right back into your room and
Well, I didn't just jump into it. I had to take a anatomy class. Then I went to Oregon and I took an advanced class. I went to Arizona and took some classes.
Oh, I know you didn't jump into it. I'm saying you can jump back into it.
Yes.
Of all of your reading and expertise and making sure you got the right type of certifications from the right people.
Exactly.
Concern of yours, who you were getting your information from.
Yes.
I'm one of those to look on the internet and say pay $19.99 and you
No.
pay, like, who are they? I actually tried to refer you for a service once and you called me. Did you read that lady review? She don't even do this. I felt so bad because I'm like, oh, I'm just looking at the fact her, Instagram videos dope. So
No.
I know, Mom. But I always make a joke because, of course, I've been saying what my mother said since I could speak, being that you worked numerous jobs. I've known you to change tires, and
yes,
on Grand.
And lube jobs. All changes, lube jobs.
You ran a record store for Mr. Miles. I love Mr. Miles, and he trusted you to run his entire store. Let me think. Dental assistant. I remember.
Yes.
Powell, dental assistant. I think those were the top one. Oh no, I remember, like, before people were really popular at working at Chrysler in the car plants, you had a contract working at Chrysler, like inspecting car parts. So
yes, quality control. I was a cashier for Kroger.
You've had a number of jobs, and then not only have you had a number of jobs, you've been through every experience probably with everybody close to you. And what I mean by that is everybody rely on you for information. Dr. G, he's the doctor, but he still will consult with you before doing certain things. I can't think of one job that I've been on that I haven't given you a scenario. Mom, if this was the scenario and the pot was 1.5 million and you have 4 departments, you like, look, Aris, you got to think about what's important first, So you help me, manage millions of dollars for, companies not knowing exactly what the task was, or, just giving a scenario. And we all have done that. So, you wear many, many hats, and you are a knowledgeable woman. So on this Women's History Month, like I said, I couldn't do nothing other but kick it off with the legendary mom herself. So one of the things I want to do just to make it fun is I want to pick one of the quotes as we end out from the book, and you kind of give us an example in your mama voice, not you got to do it in your mama voice. Okay, so the one I pick is everything that's good to you is not good for you.
Oh, and that's true. Sometimes in life, people can show up as a sheep in wolf's clothing. They can make it look all glamorous. They can make it shine. They can make you feel good, but they have an agenda. You have to be able to watch and listen and pay attention to what people are saying. The good book says what comes out the mouth comes from the heart. And you can listen to how people and watch how they treat other people. And things that they say about other people, their friends, their family, their significant others. And if they can't say anything good and they always have to use put downs, then you need to pay attention, because everything good to you is not good for you.
So you saying the person could be good to the end, could be good to me. They could be a good person to me, making me feel good, this and that and the other. But I still need to watch how they treat the other people, because
you need to watch how they move. You need to watch.
They're gonna come to me. Is that why I'm watching how they move?
You have to watch what they do, who they associate with, what they're saying. because they can dangle some trinkets in front of you, but they trying to put you in a place to fit into what their program is. And sometimes people have hidden agendas that before you realize you're caught up because they made it appear so wonderful to you, and you can just be in la la land about their persona and things they're presenting to you. And sometimes it's not a good thing to do. You just have to be vigilant and paying attention to people.
Okay. See, you hear that? Ooh, that's why I wrote this book. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
I thought you had another quote.
Oh, well, let's see. We have time for another. You share with us. Let's see what else. Let me find another one. Let's find another one. This is your favorite time. Oh, this is okay. So this one stands out to me. God can't bless who you pretend to be.
Exactly.
And the reason why this one stands out to me is because I was in a transition, left corporate America, determined. I must have called my mother 50 times a day and told her how I was not getting another job in corporate America. I refused to. That was 2010. I'm holding strong. Was it 2010? Yeah, 2010. I'm still holding strong. But one of the things she told me one day when I was trying to talk about, like, I was building up a contract or whatever, and she was just like, in the news today, people are pushing police to work in their neighborhoods because they are familiar with the people in the area. Oh, okay. So we're going to get to that question because that's a very good question. So one of the things, as I was talking and smiling, she just looked right through me and she was just like, stop faking. I was like, oh my God, I'm not faking and this and that other. But in that moment, and she was like, how are you going to get, what's due to you if you're pretending to have it? And I went home that night and I thought about that. And I thought about it in like every aspect. And that's true, because if I'm pretending that it's there, then there's no room for it to come in. Right. So in your social media world, if you're posting, oh, my business is full and I can't take any clients, but that's not the case, you're fronting and you may be missing that one client that needs that individual, attention. So it's about being real and being true, but not to everyone and everything around you, because that's what I had to learn. You know who to be open to when it comes to, because one thing you told me is you can't expose it to everybody. It's you will know, because that person will have in that area what you need to get, to that next point. So can you speak to that just a little bit about God can't bless who you pretend to be? Because you kind of live by that. Like you don't deal with no fakes and phonies.
Well, I don't believe that you have to meet somebody initially and to disclose every aspect of your life to them on first meeting.
Right.
You never have to, if you're a genuine person, your light will shine all by itself. You never have to meet people and pretend to be, oh, I have this, I have that, I have that, I got this going on, I got that going on. Because if it's pretentious, the bottom gonna fall out eventually. It's like trying to lie and lie and lie, and eventually all those strings are gonna unravel. So whatever you are, say what you are. Wherever you're not, you don't have to pretend not to have. You don't have to pretend that you're something other than what you are. Genuine people can see that. The only people that hang on that are people that's fake themselves.
I was gonna say, you call them the fakes. Be real about it. You was like, that's fake people stuff. Like,
that's fake themselves. Like, they're trying to make something out of more than what it is. Yeah. If it's an apple, it's an apple. If it's an orange, it's an orange.
And one of the things you told me, as a young girl or whatever, you was like, stop running around saying what somebody have, because people that have don't tell you what they have. You were saying like the only people that don't really have it is the people that want to advertise it. right? Like if I don't have money, I want to keep saying what my dollar amount is or what I'm worth. So do I really have that money? Because why would I be displaying it? I don't know.
Well, the thing of it is how you move, how you act, and how you treat other people and how you treat yourself is very important. You don't have to pretend, again, to have more than what you have. You can say, it's okay to say, I'm broke. I'm unemployed at this time. It's okay to be in those places and be real with yourself. You don't have to meet people and say, well, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it, and I'm going over there, and I'm going to have. Why? Because that's not where you are at this moment.
Exactly. Okay,
Live.
we got one quick question, and
Okay.
a viewer that I want you to address so that we can wrap up. But the Miss Kelly asked, in the news today, people are pushing for police officers to work in their neighborhood because they are familiar with the people and the area. How do you feel about that? Or what are your views of today's news? Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, actually, I feel like that's a wonderful thing because every police officer that patrol a certain area get to know the people. They get to know them on a personal level. Everybody in the neighborhood is not bad. Everybody's not dealing drugs. Everybody's not doing something deceitful or underhand. It's a good thing for all police officers to get to know the residents because Miss Sally over here, she may be 75 years old. And if the officer know her and he is accustomed to seeing her children, her grandchildren coming by to visit her, he also knew who those people are. Just so happened he come through the neighborhood and he sees something that's not normal to him or her. That can give him reason to stop and say, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? That is a very good thing for police officers to know their community and for the community to know who the police officers are. They're trained for antennas to go up to see when things aren't right. They even know what cars belong to what houses. They can spot things.
So that's getting to know them, but what about living in it? Like we lived in it. Do you think that's like, how do you feel about living in it? Like that's basically what we would hope that the officers do in the community, get to know the residents, get to know what's usual, what's unusual. Well, what about, because you can get to know people without living there. So what about living in it? How do you feel about that?
Well, most police officers do live in their community. Actually, back when I was a police officer, which I don't think they do it now, it was required if you were a city officer that you lived in the city. So most police officers lived in their community. You were not allowed to move out of the city. But now I think things change. A lot of things have come up over the years, which some police officers had special needs kids. They did not have the schools in the city to accommodate their children for what their needs were. So they had to move to communities for as education or proper education that they needed. So some police officers don't live in their community for reasons unknown to the public. And then I believe if you're working undercover or if you're working in things of that nature, no, you should not live next door. If it's a high crime area and you're working undercover, that's a double-edged sword kind of question because there's too many scenarios where it can be yay or nay.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Mom, for joining me. And I want to wish all of the women a wonderful March and to keep making history and being the wonderful women that you are. And a special shout out to the president, CEO, owner of Media Room 360 TV, Miss Shani. Happy Women's History Month. Hope to make history with you. And till next week, have a winning Wednesday and enjoy all that you do.
After the accident,
I was stuck paying all these medical bills.
The Witherspoon Law Group understands that you didn't deserve what happened to you, but you do deserve justice.
They weren't just there for me, they fought for me.
I care about what my clients are going through. We are in the fight of their lives.
We don't just fight for you, we fight with you and make sure you get the compensation you deserve.
And that's why we do what we do. And what we do is win.
Call 844-WE-WIN-44.
Want your book or music to be published? Skip the confusion and rejections from others. Let BePublished.org publish and promote your work for less. BePublished.org handles it all, from cover design to worldwide distribution, with high quality and fast turnaround. You even keep rights and royalties.
Everything was perfect. You made my dream come true. My book and CD look so good.
Call 972-880-8316 now. BePublished.org. 972-880-8316.
What up, y'all? It's Michael Sean, and I know you want to be a podcaster. You want a successful podcast. You want to give your views and opinions, but you just don't know how to do it correctly. That's why you got to hit up ShawneeScott.com. You want to be on radio, and you want to know how to build your radio career. ShawneeScott.com. She's done all of this. I've worked alongside her for years, and I will tell you the information that she can give you is on a value level that I can't even put a price on it. All you have to do is go to ShawneeScott.com. Your future, right now. That's it. Michael Sean. Yeah.